Story time. Here's a fun fact. See if you can find this picture. Back around 2012, Apex Systems went public. They were purchased by On Assignment, right? ASGN. And they had a picture on Wall Street. Would have been the owners of uh, of Apex, right? So you got probably Win Sheridan. I don't know if Win Sheridan was there. Win might not have gone. It might have been the other two guys, Brian Callahan and shit. Sorry, man, I forgot the third guy's name. But Rob McGuckin was in that photograph too. Now, if you find the photograph, I'm not sure if I have it somewhere in my hard cappy records. I don't know. Um, but if you can find that photograph, Rob McGuckin standing on his tippy toes for that Wall Street picture when they went public outside of, wherever in New York. So I assume it was New York, not DC. I think it was. Um, why would somebody do that? Why would you stand on your tippy toes in that kind of picture? Right? What are we doing to investigate MK Ultra and directed energy weapons? Right? Shout out to the targeted community. Shout out to everybody who's been trashing the targeted community about MK Ultra and everything that we've been trying to tell you guys about, just like the fake COVID and 9/11 and all the other bullshit. Um, you know, it's too late. Everybody noticed. We're not letting this go, just like we're not letting go of the abuse of children. It seems like there's a lot of overlap here. If you look at some of the Epstein files, people reporting EMF torture and then, they're gone, right? I don't know why that's in the Epstein files. Why would that be in the Epstein files, right? Um, it's pretty apparent how brainwashed people are, right? We saw it with COVID. Everybody just got in line, did whatever Big Brother said. It's pretty apparent now with everybody paying taxes to pedophiles. That's not normal behavior, right? That's not normal. That's not something a healthy person would do. So it's okay, right? But we need to have adult big boy conversations about what's been going on, what's transpired, who's responsible, so on and so forth. And what should be more apparent now than ever is that they're not investigating themselves and they're not going to hold themselves accountable because they're all implicated in these crimes. Do you see? Rule number one of any business is that you protect your investment. And the United States government is a business the same way that the courts are a business, the same way Lockheed Martin is a business, right? The Lockheed Martin's a government contractor, but they're all part of the same business, the same way the banks are part of the same business. Same way the education system is part of their business. They have to control how you think, right? That's why Robert Maxwell had a hand in all of the, not all, but most of the curriculum textbooks growing up, right? It's, that's why Jeffrey Epstein was having those brain conferences with the California Institute of Technology higher ups and MIT higher ups and Harvard higher ups, right? They're trying to get how people think. You got to look into the Tiny Tap app because that's live, something out of Israel, I think, maybe Tel Aviv or whatever, but that's an app for kids. That was also in the Epstein files. Now they say that Epstein didn't have anything to do with the Tiny Tap app, but it's still coming out of Israel and your kids are using it. We just need to have a conversation. They want a civil war. We're not going to give that to them. There will be no war. If they force our hand at all, I think it's just as simple as the townspeople showing up to the corrupted establishment and peacefully requesting that they step down from their positions of power for committing treason. I think it's that simple. Yeah. Just a real simple adult big boy conversation. Nothing violent. We just need to stop them from what they're doing because they're hurting people. It's not complicated stuff. The hard part is, coming to grips with the reality that you've been lied to and going through that process of understanding. It's a mental shakening awakening. The good news is that so many people have gone through it before you that you're not alone at this point, right? Some of us woke up at a time where, we got isolated and ostracized, and you got forensic psychologists telling you that you're crazy on paper for noticing, right? Just like the Epstein files. Like, if you're a shrink and you're gonna try to like get away with something, why are you gonna like follow a pattern that's already been publicly exposed in some nefarious documents? Like, unless you're a stupid troll, what the fuck do I know? Tomorrow's July 4th. How funny is that? Um, it's not normal to genocide other people, other countries. It's not normal behavior. It's not normal to traffic children. It's certainly not normal for the FBI to sit on that evidence for close to a decade, probably more, um, and not find a way to prosecute the criminals. I mean, there's a reason why citizens can't take criminal action against individuals, right? Only civil action, and that is to protect pedophiles. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, you would have citizens taking police to court for criminal offenses because they, you know, not only violated their civil rights, but also acted in a criminal fashion for whatever crime they committed. Um, Captain Obvious. I don't know what else I got for you. We haven't even really talked about. I mean, we kind of talked about the MK Ultra technology, and that's relevant because it's mind control. But it's not just the directed energy weapons, right? It's likely um, working in conjunction with the nanotechnology that's in our skin, right? Self-assembling nanotechnology. We just got to have conversations about all this stuff. It's long overdue. People are sick of it. Everyone's sick of it. The reason that we all feel like shit outside of the fluoride, GMOs, chemtrails, and energy weapons is because our souls are hurting because we know that this is all wrong. On a subconscious level, you know that. Um, or on a very awakened conscious level, you fucking know that too. So, I don't know. I'm gonna go roll another joint and a cigarette, and I don't know. I don't know. The courts are closed today, so I'm not gonna go up and look at my file. I think there's probably some stuff that's filed that I gotta go read up there. That's not posted online, I think. So that's next week. Um, the Newington Police Fire Department and town of Newington have about 18, 19 days left to respond to their uh, civil rights violation complaint that I filed. They violated my Fourth Amendment right, to be secure in myself and person and property. They violated Fourth Amendment curtilage when they walked through the gate. So we're waiting to see on that. I do have to file against the individuals at Mohegan who banned me to file some kind of retaliatory thing. You know, these are steps I'm taking on an individual basis while I'm trying to see my son, because that's a whole other issue. It seems like the courts are trafficking children. I haven't seen my son since February. It's not okay. He's not even 4 years old, right? A child's psyche, as you are all aware, is going to develop the most between birth and age 5 or 8, depending on which expert you ask. So, for the majority of my son's brain development and growth, we've been separated. That's insanely insane, right? Because we need to vibrate. My son and I are so close. Like, he knew who I was to him before he could speak. We resonate on a very similar frequency, and that should prompt you to go do some research about frequencies. Um, the statistics are not really compelling in the sense that they tell one story. It's kind of a bad story. Children who grow up without their fathers, biological fathers. Not to mention all the red flags. I'm not going to go through the case right now. If you watched one video, you probably know some of the red flags. Um, but what I was saying is that I can't do all this alone. You know, the majority wins, and we can't vote our way out of this, but we can collectively decide who we want to be as a people, right? We don't have to pay taxes to pedophiles. Whatever the thing is that you look inward and you decide what's right and what's wrong. Right? We all have to make those decisions for ourselves. We all have to decide how we're going to teach our kids, what kind of world we're going to leave our kids with, you know, and make those choices. And nobody does it alone. Like I said, the majority rules on this. So if we, the people, decide as a majority that it's okay for pedophiles to run the world, that's what it's going to be. So, um, what a stupid fucking reality. I know, I shouldn't say that. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be here for it. I believe that I chose to come here specifically for this experience. I think we all did, whether we know that or not. That's just my thought on the matter. Um, and I would be remiss if I didn't voice my opinion on all of it, right? I think that life is beautiful. The world is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful experience to come here and have everything that we need, right? We don't need jobs. We don't need pedophile overlords. Like, what the fuck are we doing? We don't need a 9 to 5. All we need is just for people to understand what their values are and to have an actual society that promotes growth, individual growth, um, actual healthy living. Pretty sure we don't need the chemtrails. We don't need the fluoride, the GMOs, the biodigital nanotech, brain computer interfacing tech. We don't need any of that. The energy weapons. We don't need any of that. We don't need you trafficking our kids through the family courts. We don't need any of that. In fact, why don't you show me what part of the government we do need, right? And I'm not saying that like, oh hey, let's go with the new world order, one world government for everybody, and their plan's perfect, right? We don't need smart cities. We don't need anything that they prescribe. Certainly don't need their pharmaceuticals. We literally need nothing from them. They need us, and they're supposed to work for us, and clearly they do not. They work for their own interests to insider trade and traffic and trade children. Like, seriously, what the fuck are we doing here? I'm going to let you guys answer that.